Hello, I'm Maria from the Richardson's Homeschool Life. Today's Tuesday, so we're back with another homeschool vlog. Last week I said that I was going to tell you about a project that Sean has been working on, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to swing you around, and she's writing some of her project at the moment, and I'll talk about it now when I swing you around. So what we're doing is a project on zoos and conservation within the zoos. Sean's writing up one of her final parts today of the project. I don't know if you can see the title at the top. I'm poking a pencil. The big question: zoos are cruel and all the animals should be released into the wild. So this is like a follow-up article, because we've done some sheets, went on a visit, and this is like the following article of what she thought about it. It's like her overall ideas. I'll just show you the first sheets that she's done. So last week we decided to start this topic on zoos, and I downloaded some sheets from Twinkle. It was like a whole project from Twinkle. So I thought, I'll give that a go. It was free, so I thought all the better. So I downloaded it and we started this project. The first sheet gives you two statements. One is reasons for zoos, and the second statement is reasons against them, different people's views. So one's for and one's against. And Sean had to write who she agreed with, the first statement or the second statement, and why. So she did a view of it there, what she thought. She didn't think it was a good idea that they lived in places where they're not adapted to, for reasons like different climates, amount of space, and such things like that. Then the day after, because we did a bit each day, we did a second sheet, and that was a study of a zoo. So I gave her a zoo to study. So she chose Twycross Zoo, as that's our nearest zoo. And that asked you questions like, how many animals does the zoo contain? Does the zoo offer educational facilities? Does it attempt to conserve endangered species? And which endangered species does the zoo keep? So she went online to study the zoo, find her answers, and she completed that sheet. Then the day after that, we did another sheet where she had to consider points of view as well as her own, considering why some people would want to keep zoos open and why others would want to close them permanently. So there was reasons to close and reasons to keep zoos open. So she did that on the third day. So what do you do when you've done that? Well, let's see. Here we are, Twycross Zoo, and it's pouring with rain.
Still gone now and round. It won't be in this one, it's probably in a different one.
Let's see to zoom in.
Slowing down a bit now, the sun's coming out.
Keep your eyes open now for lemurs.
So you took Martin anyway. Hello. You see there's that option on top.
There's one over there as well, look.
There's a picture of someone doing that. Do you not put your finger? What are those cues? See today?
So they produce a behaviour called the chatty, and it's simply them swinging their neck around.
It's on this one.
That was very high, you know what we said?
What's the name?
Max is on one thing. It's bigger than.
I want to stroke it.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Come on, do it, you can do it, die.
Waiting for him to jump in, he won't. Will you? Go on. Push him. Just push him in. Yay.
Oh, he's nicked my prawn cracker. There you are.
Pose. He's gone. Little one.
Cute, isn't it?
You're cute.
Just chilling.
That one? Where's one right below the window lock?
What do you say?
Come on, try to find one. Do that with finger.
He's your dick dick.
It wasn't Joe.
It was.
It was? Or was it Lucy?
No, it was Joe.
Right, there was one with Joe where Sean was like, let's go run to Joe. Was like, no, we need to see the dick dick first. And then there was another one where we couldn't find it, and then Nathan goes,
Huh?
So to do that, Grandma, you get one with a really crying face.
Look at him. Good on there, how are you climbing over here?
Got better legs than you.
Yeah. You know, there's like more coming out here, look.
Oh, yeah. Peering out the doors.
Yeah.
As it stopped raining, shall we come out? We're going back in.
No, it's gone in now.
Ja, dat is problem. Why am I back? That's no idea. No. We're prisoners in our world. Exactly. We're beholden.
Come for tea.
Yeah.
She's just walking around there, look.
Tiger, right.
Don't know if I can pick it up because of the reflection. Back of him. God, I can turn around and look.
On the wall.
Is that Malaysia or Indonesia? On there.
Can't say.
I'm feeling it might be Malaysia.
No.
Just a little one.
Oh yeah, we can see his mummy here. He's come to get on his mummy's back. Oh. Look. You see he's fighting with his mummy. You see her?
Are you a cheeky little gibbon?
No.
No? You're a pig cat.
I've got to catch him to take pictures. Move too quick for me. Yeah, put your hand out, see if I land on it. I know, move so quick. In the chrysalis.
Looking at the back there, trying to get out.
Oh yeah.
That one on the floor has just literally fell out. You just missed it, yeah.
So with the glass, I'm only getting a reflection of her feet. That's so cool. Isn't it? Awesome. Something there. Above Sean's head. Oh wow, look at that. Blend in, don't they? Look.
Left around that way, look.
A fox saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good.
Where are you going to, little brown mouse? Come and have lunch in my underground house.
Down below, ma testa todo. Below, down room. Okay. Jack, I take it. Check. Okay.
Look how big.
So that trip to Twycross Zoo led us to where we are today doing this video. Like I just showed you, she's doing the final part of the project where she's writing now what she thinks. It's like an overview. You could do it in the form of a mind map or a statement that you wanted to read to your group. Well, obviously Sean and our group, but we work together on projects like this. And the bit where it had said the other day about getting other people's points of view, she'd ask brothers, sisters, nieces, you know, friends. So she ask anybody, talk about it and ask anybody. So even if you're on your own at home doing a project for homeschooling, that doesn't mean you can't involve other people in whatever project you're doing. If you want points of view or to discuss things, you know, you can just go and discuss it with anybody, whether it's family members, friends. You know, you're not isolated to not being able to have a discussion with anybody. So that's what she's done, and today she's doing this final write-up and what she thinks, which I'm going to read in a moment. I won't read it out loud to you though, but what her overall view of it was. But I'll give you a rough idea of the sort of things we were saying about zoos, because I don't want to get into a debate on zoos, but we were saying, like, we looked at the giraffes. Now the giraffes don't have very much space, which you could, well, I don't know if you could make it out on the video because it was a bit of a rubbish weather day and there was a lot of school children everywhere and we couldn't really see an awful lot all the time, couldn't get close enough. So my filming quality when I'm out and about is a bit rubbish. I'm all right when I'm stationary like this, but once I start moving, it's rubbish. So I don't know what you could tell. But the giraffe enclosure wasn't very big at all. It wasn't at all very big. In fact, I can imagine if you put a house on it, you'd just have a house with a very, very large garden. So it wasn't big at all. And we're thinking that sort of area isn't suitable for animals the size of giraffes. And then when you think like in the wild when the giraffes go up to the trees and you see the pictures of them eating the leaves off the trees, all they've got is giant poles with sticks hanging down. And most of the time they've got no leaf left on them. So obviously they do replenish them, but it seems so sad. It does seem so sad. But then you go into an area like, say, the butterfly enclosure where we could see them breeding and everything. And that's quite a nice big area for butterflies, and they've got all like tropical plants in there, which you can see on the video. That's fine, that's nice. There's plenty of area for that. That was really good.
And the budgies.
And the budgies, the lorikeets, they were.
Oh, the budgies.
The lorikeets had quite a big area. So, yeah, monkeys are so-so. They had a reasonable size area. Some of them had huge pens, others just had smaller pens, but maybe they don't need bigger pens. It was mainly the big animals we were concerned about, things like giraffes. They used to have elephants at Twycross Zoo, but they got shipped out somewhere else. See, that's another thing we discussed about moving animals around for breeding purposes and that. It's nice to breed them, it's nice to get more because a lot of them are endangered and critically endangered. But the thing is, sometimes moving them around isn't good for their health, and although they inject them with things to keep them calm, it's not nice anyway, really. The whole thing isn't nice. I think they should be kept in the environments they're in and breeding programs set up that way for large animals, and then maybe smaller animals will be okay in zoo areas and places like that. But then on the other side you think, well, you know, most people would never get to see any of these big animals if they were out in their natural habitats in their homelands. We wouldn't ever see them. Very few of us would afford to go out to the savannah and places like that to see elephants and such like. So it's a bit, oh, we do get to see them. So, yeah, I don't think it's right that they should be in those sort of areas in zoos. This is what me and Sean was saying. But it's nice we can see them, but, you know, maybe they're better off in their own environment. So, yeah, it was a bit mixed, like talk about different animals that we've seen and what we thought. And there was a tiger, wasn't there, Sean, all on its own. And it was pacing backwards, forwards, just pacing away. It didn't seem to be able to go outside. The metal doors seemed closed, and it was just a small area pacing backwards and forwards. And it didn't look happy, and it looked fed up, and it was on its own as well. Animals like this aren't used to being on their own. They're used to being in packs and things like that.
See the outline of its rib cage.
Yeah, Sean was concerned because she could see its rib cage. So I don't know. But this is what we've been doing anyway. So we downloaded this worksheet pack from Twinkle, and it was free. And they've got some other free stuff on there again at the moment. So we did that, and we've been doing the project on it. So Sean, the first animal she thought about, what was it? The black rhino, wasn't it? And we went to see the black rhino and couldn't see it. It wasn't there. The advertising the rhino's there, but there was no sign of it. And we think it's in the elephant house, where that's where it was pointing to, where the elephants once were. But the doors were locked and you couldn't get in. So where the black rhino was, I don't know. Same as a snow leopard. I mean, that comes from cold countries, and you can never see it because it's always hibernating. That's if it's there. Sometimes we think, are these animals really there?
It's too hot for it. It's used to cold climates.
Yeah, it's used to cold climates, and it is warm.
On the board it said it lives...
Swing it around so you can see Sean because she's talking.
On the board it said they live like...
Chairs on the way, Sean. Can you poke your head round?
No. On the board it said they live like on mountains, like mountains full of snow, like in Nepal and China and Mongolia and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously yesterday it was really hot as well.
Yeah, after it stopped raining.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it rained when we first went, and then it was really hot in the afternoon. The sun came out and it was really hot. We went in to see the, not the meerkats, what did we go and see? The lemurs, was it? Where we went round the little forest area, and then the ranger came after us and going, They're all in hiding today because it's raining, so there's none out here, I think. Dear. So we didn't see everything, but even though we were there all day wandering round and round, we just ended up with aching legs. But another thing that they do as well, it seemed more geared to money. They wanted money. Now, I understand that because looking after animals is really expensive. And imagine the vet bills on things like a rhino and, you know, an elephant. They haven't got elephants there anymore. A giraffe and things like that. Vet's bills are not going to be cheap. Food is definitely not going to be cheap. So I don't mind paying, but I've been to Twycross Zoo loads of times, and I remember a time when it had loads and loads of monkeys. It had a lot of things, and gradually over the years it seems to be declining, and it's turning more into like a fun type area because now they've opened up Gruffalo Lowland, which is all right if you've got little tiny toddlers, but if you've got older children, you know, it doesn't appear to be anything. But if you've got little children who like the Gruffalo, they'd love it. So yeah, it's got that. It's got lots of play areas and things like that. It's gearing up a bit more theme now. Not so many animals. What I didn't like was there wasn't enough people telling you about conservation. There was nobody on hand because I was hoping we could find somebody and talk about the conservation and how they did the breeding and did they send them away? Did they breed them on site? That sort of thing, you know, I wanted to ask questions. Because Sean is homeschooled, I wanted her to hear some information about it all, but there was nobody there to ask, nobody at all. There was no talks or anything. So, yeah, that was that really. But if you're near Twycross and you can get there, it's worth going. It is expensive to go, but you do have to bear in mind, you know, that animals cost a lot of money and it costs a lot to run the place. Even if they haven't got as many animals as they used to, it does cost a lot to run the place. So I don't know if anybody, remember you won't be as old as me probably, anybody from the UK, if the years ago, I think it was the late 60s, early 70s, definitely the early 70s, they used to have the TV chimps there, the Tea Party chimps, and they used to be on television. They advertised PG tips. They did some brilliant adverts, and that's where they lived at Twycross Zoo. I remember them when I was a kid. So yeah, just a bit of useless information there. Well, it used to be nice. You used to be able to go to Twycross Zoo and you could have tea with the chimps. Obviously you had to pay extra to do that, but you could do that. So that's what we've been doing anyway, and we've been doing this topic. Now, I don't think we'll do any more topics this term, actually. And we'll wind down now. I think it's 4 weeks till we break up summer holidays because we don't work through the summer holidays. Well, she does self-led things, but we don't sit down formally and work. Next week now, I'm going to do some genealogy with you. I'm going to tell you some, not facts, with my genealogy, you know, Sean's been doing genealogy. I've got some nice interesting family bits on the tree, but there's some mysteries. So next week I'm going to go through with you about a murder mystery, and cover my mic up then, I hope you can hear me. And you can see what you think. It's an unsolved mystery, so I thought next week I might go through it with you and see what you think, because it's quite interesting. You might like it. I don't know. You might like it. But this is what we've been doing on the family tree. So yeah, that's that for this week. Now, I always want to put an H in front of words. I am coming back tomorrow, all being well. I'm going to do the garden collab tomorrow, which is hosted by Victoria from Home Educating the Mad Lads. So it's like a once a month gardening vlog where you show your garden, how it's progressing. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow because there's only 2 days to the end of the month. I can't believe how quick it's gone, isn't it? It's gone so quick, the months already. So yeah, hopefully I'm going to be able to get out there today, do a bit of filming in the garden before the rain comes, because it is giving out rain later. And then tomorrow I'll be able to get this vlog on for you to see how the garden's progressing. And like I say, if you're not interested in gardening, you don't need to watch that, but next Tuesday then I'll be back again, and we're going to do this like murder mystery thing that's connected to Sean's genealogy. So whether I see you tomorrow or next Tuesday, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you then. Bye.